Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Raybuck and I'll be your instructor for this course, Social Work 633. I hope you're excited for this course as it will provide you with a solid understanding of clinical work with families. Within the course, you'll focus on multiple theoretical frameworks for work with families and learn about conceptualizing issues more thoroughly with family work. In this course, remember, we're focusing on the family unit as our client versus the individual as our client. We focus more on the individual in the individual clinical practice class. So here you'll find a description of the course through the syllabus. This video is to serve as an explanation of expectations and objectives for the class. If you have additional questions following the video, please do not hesitate to message me. I'll respond to messages within 48 hours, but I'm most available between Friday and Monday, which I know is not really the typical hours of availability, but it seems to be when I'm most available. You will find my bio on the About Your Instructor page, but just to give you some background about myself, I am currently working full-time as a clinical social worker doing outpatient therapy. I have been doing clinical work for about 8 years. I work with individuals and families of all ages. The majority of my caseload does tend to be children, so when working with children, it's commonly a need to focus on work with the family as well. So I'm hoping as the class progresses that some of my clinical experiences can help to enrich your experience with the class in general. So I'd like to go over the syllabus and try to expand a little bit on the expectations and objectives. What I have pulled up here is actually the downloaded copy of the syllabus in case it looks different than what you have on Canvas. This is what I have pulled up. So please read through the competencies and related behavior section. I'll trust that you can kind of view that on your own. But if you do have additional questions, please reach out. I would like to focus more on the assignments in this syllabus review. So here you'll see the required texts. I hope everyone has obtained them. First, we have the APA manual. This will be important to have on hand for any written assignments. In addition to this, I'm sure many of you are aware of the Purdue OWL website that can be useful. I find that it's very user-friendly and helpful to reference for APA format. So in addition for this class, you have the Mnuchin and Nichols books. I hope you enjoy both of them and find them informative. I just remember within my own social work education how influential reading Mnuchin and watching his videos was to me and learning about family therapy, so I hope you find the same. These books will be your primary source of material, supplemented by articles and videos posted each week. So here you'll see some of the course requirements that we'll kind of look at next. The estimated time that you would spend dedicated to this course would be approximately 19 to 20 hours per week. Please plan accordingly. I know that sounds like a lot of time, and it is, but hopefully you can find the appropriate schoolwork and home balance, which I know can be extremely difficult, though it is very important. And you'll find throughout the course that there are some suggested activities for self-care as well, not required, but hopefully that can be something that kind of keeps you focused on that, because that'll be there will be a huge need to focus on that in your career as a clinical social worker as well. So moving on to the policies, integrity is important when participating in any course. The main thing to note here is the importance of APA citations. Plagiarism is not tolerated, and if it occurs, will result in a 0 for that assignment. It's best to paraphrase and appropriately cite any information gathered from readings. Direct quotes can be at times useful, but not often the best practice in writing, whether it is in discussion forums or papers, so please keep that in mind. As an instructor, I am told that I tend to pay a little bit closer attention to APA format, so please do pay attention to it as well. In terms of attendance, I'll go over that a little bit more in the weekly breakdown, though please make sure you're participating in discussions weekly. If for any reason you're unable to complete a discussion or assignment on time, please reach out to me in advance. I am fully understanding that unexpected things come up. You know, it's encouraged that you focus on self-care, and some of those things can impact deadlines, but should just try to like send me a message just so that we can stay in communication, so I know kind of what's going on with you if you are late on assignments. So please read through, the submission of assignments. I kind of already went through lateness of assignments and revisions and incompletes. I will award revisions if you receive a B- or lower. In terms of professional behavior, in any communication throughout this course, it is expected for you to be professional and adherent to the NASW Code of Ethics. Here you can see a guideline for interaction through discussion forums, as well as any email and messaging related to the course, whether it be between you and myself or between you and another student. In terms of my availability, please view the About Your Instructor section on the course modules. You'll find my background and contact information. Messaging through Canvas seems to work best, though you will find my email and phone number there if needed as well. Again, I will respond within 48 hours to any message, though the best times to reach me are between Friday and Monday, so essentially the weekends. Please note that if any technical issues may arise, please contact the Personal Support Center, the technical support that's listed here, as they'll for sure be more helpful than I will be regarding tech issues. I do want to also note that if you need any accommodations, please contact the Student Support Services that's listed here. I'm more than happy to follow any accommodations that might be needed, but it is a requirement that this first be established through the Student Support Services office, so please reach out sooner rather than later if that's something that's needed. So here you'll see a breakdown of the grading in the class. You'll see that the class participation is a large portion of the grade, so make sure to focus on the discussions, especially when thinking about clinical practice. Class discussion is where you're going to learn the most. You may find that there are a variety of different perspectives on any given topic. Having an understanding of the varying perspectives can help you become a better clinical social worker and enrich your perspectives on the reading. I know for myself, looking back on my MSW education, much of my understanding of clinical work came through open discussion during class, whether it be about specific cases from field work or readings. So these discussion forums are essentially a way to facilitate that in the online environment. So then in addition to the discussions, you'll see that there's 4 different assignments for the course, and you'll see how they're weighted for your grade here. So 2 major assignments between weeks 3 and 6. And please review all the grading rubrics for the discussions as well as each individual assignment. I'll be grading by the rubric, so it may be a good idea to just have these on hand when you're completing assignments to make sure that you hit all the points. Here you'll see that we have the rubrics for the assignments and the discussions. What I'm really looking for from you in discussions is really an expression of understanding as well as expansion on that understanding, whether it be in providing a relation to clinical experience or reference from the readings. Then in addition to the weekly discussions, you will have the family therapy theory grid to complete each week. You'll be using the same grid but adding to it each week. I'll further explain this as the weeks move forward, though basically this will be helpful for you to keep a solid understanding of each specific theory and differentiate them as well. And you'll see an example of the grid right here. Your reading reflection paper will be due at the end of week 2. This is simply a reaction to one of your week 1 readings. You will need to provide a summary of the main points as well as elaborate on your own reactions to these points and thoughts that you might have regarding it. You'll find the rubric here in the syllabus as well as in the assignment section on Canvas. So your first large assignment is the Family of Origin Theory paper in Genogram, which is due weeks 3 and 4. This will be a self-reflection of your own family in which you're going to identify, a core issue within your family and discuss it. Please note that the issue should not be something that is presently upsetting or triggering for you. That is not something that we would ask for you to do. And if you have any concerns about using your own family as a topic, please reach out to me and I will help you identify an alternative. Something that could potentially be done is just identifying maybe a family from a movie or a TV show and kind of using that as a focus for your paper. So the first part of the assignment will be the genogram. Genograms are a great way to identify relationships between family members and begin to conceptualize the family. You'll see the requirements for the genogram, if I can find it. You'll see the requirements for the genogram here. And then basically, you're just going to need to include 3 generations, and you must demonstrate appropriate use of symbols. You will draw your genogram and then scan or take a picture to upload. So the second part of the assignment is the paper with the description indicated here. In the paper, you're basically going to evaluate and conceptualize the problem through use of one family theory that we have studied. And again, you can find the rubric here as well as in the assignment section on Canvas. And here is the family genogram rubric. The final paper, the integrative case paper and genogram, is due at the end of week 6. For this paper, you will use content from which you used in the week 5 discussion, which I will describe in more detail prior to week 5. You'll provide a more thorough assessment of the cause of the problem and conceptualize the problem, identify family strengths, and lastly, identify an appropriate course of treatment for the family. Here is where you are truly going to integrate all of what you have learned throughout the course and demonstrate your understanding as well. Again, you'll find the rubric here as well as in the assignment section on Canvas. I also want to note that I will be creating separate videos specific to each assignment and posting closer to their due date. I wanted to provide a general description of the assignments here, but I will definitely be going over them in more detail in those videos. In addition to the assignment videos, I will post a video each week to describe expectations and to describe the discussions for that week. So please make sure to view those because there could be some important information that I mention within them. So finally, here is your course schedule. Note that for discussions, initial posts are due by Thursday of that week at 11:59 p.m. and responses are due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll see here the assigned readings, but please make sure to view on the week modules as there are typically additional articles and videos posted as well. Again, I am very excited to be joining you for the course, and please reach out with any questions and be on the lookout for my weekly videos. Thank you.